What is good? What is good? This is your guy Manny, and welcome to the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. This is another episode of the Talking Sports with Manny podcast. Today we are going live on YouTube, Twitch, and of course TikTok. So let's go ahead and get this thing on and popping. All right, welcome in TikTok. We are now live on TikTok as well. So let's go ahead and start with our waiver wire news. But before that, I want to talk about a few things. The Vikings are going to be getting back Aaron Jones. Most likely, he might be able to be cleared before the game Thursday night. Not sure. But as the way that it's looking right now, Aaron Jones, they have activated Aaron Jones on a 21-day practice window, and he may play Thursday night. Of course, we're going to get into our waiver wire players, but also I like to stay away from Thursday night games. When you start players on Thursday night, what you get is what you get, okay? So let's go ahead and kick this thing off, right? Put this right here. All right, let's go ahead and kick this thing off right. Some of the players that I like this week in the waiver wire, when we're talking about wide receivers, we have Darnell Mooney. He's back. He's healthy. He's a guy I feel could help that ATL offense. He's a field stretcher. He's a really good pickup this week. And you need to watch his snaps. He's going to continue to get more and more snaps. He played well last week, about 9 points in PPR leagues, and I expect that to grow. Because when you look at Mooney, obviously you have Pitts out there. Pitts has not been progressing. He has not been providing an uptick in targets. So outside of Drake London, you're going to have a guy in Mooney who I feel can stretch the field. If you guys are coming in and if you guys like sports talk, please subscribe, please follow. The next player is Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson had a great game last week. I'm going to look up his stats in a minute, but Tez Johnson is a guy for Tampa Bay that's going to continue to get work. You know, Emeka Egbuka came back. He looked good, but he could have done more, right? But then you had Mike Evans, who also came back, but then got injured again. So now Mike Evans is out for the season, pretty much for the entire season. He might come back for the playoffs, but I just count him in as being out for the season, especially when we're talking about fantasy football, right? So Tez Johnson, man, when you look at his frame, I didn't know what to expect out of this rookie. He has been impressive. He's looked good. He was a great find for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I don't know how they continue to find these players. Like, you have guys like McMillan when he comes back. You know, you have Godwin. And good teams continue to make good decisions in terms of, you know, making their team better. So, obviously, they lost to the Detroit Lions last night, but Tez Johnson had 9 targets. Obviously, Baker Mayfield threw the ball for almost 60 times, right? It looked like almost 60 times. But for him to get 9 targets, caught 4 receptions for 58 yards and 1 touchdown. I want you guys to go back and look at some of these receptions, man. He looked great. He looked amazing. So it's something that could, you know, potentially become more for Tampa Bay. So Tez Johnson is a good pickup. Jalen Noel. You have Nico Collins out there for the Texans, right? But the problem with Nico was he got hurt and he got a concussion. Somebody's asking, Garrett Wilson or Roma Dunze for the rest of the season? I'll go Roma Dunze out. I typically lean towards who's healthy and whose offense looks better. The Jets are a hot mess right now. They're now going to Tyrod Taylor, which should help out that Jets offense. But at the end of the day, I'd rather go Roma Dunze because I feel like he is a guy that has been more consistent throughout the season. Garrett Wilson has been nice. Don't get me wrong, but that offense scares me. But also, Roma Dunze has had 2 bad games back-to-back, but I feel like Roma Dunze is the guy. So back to the Houston Texans, Jalen Noel. You got to go Jalen Noel because Nico Collins got a concussion, right? You have Christian Kirk dealing with injuries as well. So Jalen Noel is a guy that I feel like could come in and step up. I'm not saying he's going to come in and be instant success for that team, but what I am saying is that he's going to have the opportunity to have targets. Galaxy Pickers, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Galaxy says start Baker or Knicks this week. I got to go Knicks going against that Dallas Cowboys defense. I know they played well against the Commanders, but that's a Commander, so I will go Knicks this week. Also, Galaxy's saying, trying to figure out when McMillan is coming back. I have him stashed in my IR spot. Yeah, keep him stashed, man, because whenever he comes back with Godwin injury, Mike Evans injury, Tampa Bay is struggling right now for wide receivers. Yes, they have guys that are stepping up and doing some pretty good things, but maybe in a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But I do feel like McMillan comes back before the year's end. The Smitty is asking, I just traded Dak for Scatterbo, DK for Scatterbo. I like it. I love both, but I'd rather have Scatterbo than have DK. You can look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Scatterbo has been nice. He's RB8 right now in the season, so that was a pretty good trade. Let me get into some of these TikTok questions. If there's any, I don't see any recently. For those that are checking me out for the first time, if you guys love sports, be sure to hit that follow button. Somebody was saying drop Mixon. Yeah, I would drop Mixon, especially if I need live bodies, meaning that bye weeks are here, injuries are here. So if I don't have space for Mixon on my team, best believe that Mixon is off of my team. Somebody says trade Bijan and Bill for Puka and Tet. My other running backs are Cook and Junkins. I get it. Puka and Bijan are on the same level. Tet over Bill. So I feel like you can possibly get more than but Bijan and Puka, yeah, that's a fair trade. That's a fair trade. It's a fair trade. Bijan is tops of his position group. Puka is tops of his position group when he's healthy. Just make sure that Puka is healthy when you're giving away a healthy Bijan Robinson. That's all I got to say. Somebody said $30. Somebody said $10. $10, $30. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I traded Junkins and Tet, and then it says, and Garrett Wilson for Gibbs and BTJ. Did I get scammed? I love the Junkins side, but I understand why you would make that trade as well. But yeah, give me the Junkins side. You didn't get scammed, but it's one of those preference trades. So other players that I'm targeting this week in the waiver wire, you have Xavier Leggett, who had a great game this past week. One of his better games. You don't see Xavier Leggett come out and play like he did. So, but it's like the consistency out of that Panthers offense. You have Coker, who's back. You have a lot of different elements there, but I do like Xavier Leggett. We've been waiting for him to be consistent. This might be his most consistent game of the season. I'm going to pull up his game log. So outside of, he hasn't really done much all season. There was a game versus the Miami Dolphins where he had 3 receptions, 31 yards, and a touchdown. But this past game versus the Jets, he had 9 receptions on 11 targets for 92 yards and a score. Hopefully, this is the start of something new for Xavier Leggett. But that's why I say go ahead and pick him up now, because this is going to be the only time that he's going to be available, especially if he does this again, it's game over. So if you're looking for a wide receiver to stash, grab your Xavier Leggett, who just had, over 20-something points in fantasy with a huge monster game. They envisioned Xavier Leggett and Ted and then also Coker being a kind of group that can kind of produce. But, yeah, that's what it is for now. Let me see if I have any questions over here. Okay. All right. We're doing good. So the next receiver, I would say, is a 2-part. You want to grab Chris Moore, but then also you want to grab Luke McCaffrey. Now, Mariota is most likely going to play because Jaden Daniels is possibly going to miss that Monday night game. So if he misses that game, I've seen that Mariota loves to throw the ball to Luke McCaffrey. For some reason, Jaden Daniels doesn't. So Chris Moore, Luke McCaffrey, one of those 2 guys should get targets. This is a terrible Commanders offense, but volume is king when it comes to fantasy. Galaxy Pickers writes, would you trade Odunze and JCM for Jettas and Omarion Hampton? At this point, absolutely. JCM has been a big disappointment, even against good matchups versus the Bears and Dallas Cowboys. He has been unable to perform to what we thought or what we think he could have been. So, yeah, that's that. It says, do I take Ja in my NBA fantasy league? I will not take Ja unless you're grabbing him in your league at like round 7, 8, like in the middle rounds. Ja Morant has shown you that he cannot be consistent. He's shown you that, it's just like he's not a guy that I would want in my lineups right now. And then because of Ja Morant, I was able to pick up Ty Jerome, who's the backup point guard, and then also Scottie Pippen Jr., and then also Javon Small, who is a rookie. So it's pretty interesting what's going on there. It says, quick question. Prime Dez Bryant or Prime Fitzgerald? Give me Prime Fitzgerald. I know Fitzgerald was not the coolest. Fitzgerald, that's Larry Fitzgerald, y'all. Larry Fitzgerald wasn't the coolest. He wasn't like the most amazing, spectacular plays here and there, but he was consistent. He had hands. He possibly had the best hands when he played. He might have the best hands, one of the best hands, if not the best in NFL history. Go look at the numbers. He produced. Now, Dez Bryant was more fun, more flashy to watch, but I would take Larry Fitzgerald any single day. Cook or Scatterbo, give me Scatterbo. It says Daniel Jones and Saquon for Mahomes and Bucky. I'd rather have Mahomes and Bucky, if we're being honest. Luka, the Don Doncic. Absolutely. Look, I can't wait for this Lakers game tonight, man. I'm going to a sports bar in Nashville to watch the game. It's going to be a good time. Since Randy Moss owns the title. For the best hands? Or are you talking about the best receiver? We were talking about best hands. I'm not giving best hands to Randy Moss. I might give the most highlight plays, Moss in it, whatever you want to call it. But when you talk about strictly hands, I don't think that Randy Moss was known for his hands. He was known for his speed. He was known for being like, he had that go route. He can snag on people. But when we talk about hands, I don't know. I might go Jerry Rice. I might go T.O. I might go. There's so many other guys that I would go if we're talking about strictly hands when it comes to wide receivers. So you're right. Larry had more tackles and drops. He's been a top 5. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald is so underrated. I so wished that they won that championship. I remember that year that the Cardinals made it to the championship. There was a guy that I went to school with at Tennessee State University named Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. I don't know if you guys know him, but this guy was drafted in the first round for the Arizona Cardinals. Ended up having a nice 10-year career in the NFL, and they made it to the Super Bowl his rookie season. And I was cheering so tough for that Cardinals team versus Pittsburgh. Man, it would have just been great to see Larry Fitzgerald with the championship. It just goes to show you that great players don't always win championships, So, yeah, that is crazy. Hey, what's good, Jeremy? It says, how are you? Hey, I'm doing good, man. Appreciate the follow. Appreciate the likes. So other players that I like on waiver wire this week, we talked about Chris Moore, Luke McCaffrey combo. Jack Besh. Keep an eye out for Jack Besh because Jacoby Myers is still requesting a trade. The trade deadline is November the 4th. So I expect NFL trades to be done this week, next week. Like literally, that's really all it is. This week, next week. So by exactly 2 weeks from today is the NFL trade deadline. So literally you have all this week, all next week, and a little bit of the following week. So Jacoby Myers, he still wants out. So he's a guy that I feel like he might get traded to a needy team that needs wide receivers. And, so Jack Besh could be a decent pickup. Somebody says, I'm happy my Eagles won. As a Commanders fan, look, I can't stand the Eagles, but, hey, you guys are killing it right now. You guys are the team to beat in that NFC East. So I'm happy that Brandon Graham is coming back. Yeah, y'all desperately needed a pass rusher, and Brandon Graham was the perfect guy to come in, knowing the system, knowing, like the brotherhood and the camaraderie and all that good stuff. So, yeah, Brandon Graham was definitely, I would say, a good scoop. Would you trade Saquon Barkley and Debo for Josh Jacobs? Absolutely. Saquon Barkley has given us 0 this year. So, yeah, I don't have no problems making that trade. And Debo's hurt. Hopefully Debo, this is not the Debo of old who continues to get hurt and injuries linger and things of that nature. So if you have injury concerns, then I would definitely say trade away Debo Samuels. It says, I think Howie is going to make a trade. Howie always makes a trade. Howie is the king of trades, and that's what has made the Eagles what they are today. All right, so we talked about wide receivers. We're done with wide receivers. Let's go ahead and move on to tight ends to pick up this week. Oronde Gaston went crazy. He went bananas. His dad played football back in the day, I think for the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he looked good. He looked good. And I don't know if this is going to be something that's going to continue to happen or if this is just one of those games. You know, he played at Syracuse. When you look at him, he's pretty much a big wide receiver. They were able to grab this guy in the 4th or 5th round. Shout out to the Chargers, man. They definitely killed it with this pickup. But yeah, he looked great this past week. And what I'm interested to seeing is this what's to come? Like, we knew that they built this Chargers team around running the ball, right? They have injuries to their top 2 backs. You have a bunch of has-beens, a bunch of washed-up guys playing running back. And you bring in this guy, and this dude was targeted 9 times. He caught 7 receptions for 164 yards and a score. That's monster. So he's really like the number 1 waiver wire pickup this week, Oronde Gaston from the Chargers, rookie tight end. You might as well call him a wide receiver. That just adds more to Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert could very well lead the NFL in passing yards this year. Like, they struggle on defense. They struggle to make stops. I mean, they're struggling against some top teams. They give up some points from here, from time to time. They haven't looked good as a team. So I don't know, are the Chargers going down or are they coming up? Because they're right there with Denver when it comes to that AFC West standings. But I don't know. But pick up Oronde Gaston. Another guy that I'm picking up is Cade Otton, especially with the injuries that they're dealing with at wide receiver. He's now starting to put together some games, right? So Cade Otton is a nice pickup. Dalton Schultz is a nice pickup for the Houston Texans that are also dealing with wide receiver injuries. So that's more targets going to Dalton Schultz's way. He had a great game yesterday. They used him. He looked like the Dallas Dalton Schultz. Got some questions building up. I'm going to get to some questions in a few minutes. Mason Taylor, with Tyrod Taylor becoming the starting quarterback now, they have now announced him as the starting quarterback. So I like Mason Taylor moving forward rest of the season. Theo Johnson, he looked good, but the Giants use pretty much all their tight ends. So I don't know if he's going to sustain this kind of success, but if you're in a pinch and you're looking for a tight end, Theo Johnson is always a good pickup. Because that Jackson Dart kid, man, he looks great. He looks great. Pat Freiermuth, welcome back to the NFL. He had a monster game. And if you guys look at the game or look at the stats, Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdowns. Those 4 touchdowns went to tight ends. Freiermuth caught 2 of them. So I don't know what the target share is going to be like between their 3 tight ends. But one thing I can say is that I think they have figured out how to use Freiermuth. They split him out wide, and they're using him as a wide receiver. So I like Pat Freiermuth, not just this week, but moving forward. So let's go ahead and dive into some of these questions on TikTok. If I don't get to your question before the show is over, you can always DM me. Just make sure that you drop a follow. It says, should I do a Mecca for Quinshawn because of Tez Johnson? I like a Mecca. I like Quinshawn. I would say depending on what position you need more, then you go that position. So if you need a running back, I have no issues with the trade. If you need a wide receiver, I have no issue with the trade. Now, Tez Johnson is nice, but he's not going to take away from a Mecca. That's just my honest opinion. It says, y'all Giants need a wide receiver. Y'all should. The Eagles fan don't need a wide receiver. The Giants do need a receiver. I do think the Giants make a trade for either a Jerry Jeudy or a Jalen Waddle. I'm hoping not, because these guys are already the Giants already they're getting to scary status, but also the NFL is going to find out more about Jackson Dart moving into next season. So yeah, that's that. Let me see. Don't count him out yet. I love Saquon. He's probably will explode after bye week. I don't know what's going on with Saquon, man. I don't know, and I really cannot trust Saquon. But for the Giants fan that was asking a question about the trade, the real NFL trade, I do think that Jalen Waddle or Jerry Jeudy would be a nice addition to the Giants. But either guy is going to cost at least a second. They're going to cost at least a second. They won't be cheap. It says you are a Commanders fan. How do you feel about that 44-22 loss? Man, I feel awful. I feel awful, man. We got blasted. We got destroyed. We deserved the beatdown. The team is dealing with injuries. We had a miraculous season last year. One of those seasons that, like, you don't see too often, right? So it is what it is. You know, a lot of the wins that we got last year were, like, phenomenal wins. Caden says, best defenses for this week, whoever the Titans are playing. That's who I go with every single week. I go with whoever the Titans or the Dolphins are playing. Those are the best defenses, always. And if you guys are catching me on YouTube and haven't subscribed, please drop a subscribe. If you like what you're hearing, those on TikTok, if you guys like what you guys are hearing, please drop a follow as well. Let me see what other questions before I continue to dive into my show. All right, it says, would you trade Garrett Wilson for Saquon or Chase Brown? That's tough because Saquon is struggling, but Chase Brown looked good last week. If you are deep at wide receivers and you need a running back, I have no issues with it because running backs are the hardest things to find. Yes, Garrett Wilson is a stud wide receiver, but to find a good running back is really, really tough. It says, would you take Worley or Golden from Green Bay, or is it too early? Would you take Worley or Golden? I'm confused. Oops. It says Gibbs and Pittman for Bijan and Devontae Adams. Ooh. So because Gibbs and Bijan are the same, give me Devontae Adams over Pittman, especially while Puka's out. Drew says, you want to rate my team? DM me your team. Says Ladder Addison, give me Addison. Addison has been consistent, man. He's been scoring at least 14 points or more. Appreciate the follow, building with Beanie. All right, let's go ahead and dive into. So we talked about wide receivers. We talked about tight ends. Let's go ahead and dive into the running back position. So some of the running backs that I like this week, Brashad Smith. Nobody is looking at Brashad Smith right now. Kareem Hunt got hurt. I don't know how long he's going to be hurt, but Brashad Smith just looks good. He looks like the best running back on the Chiefs right now. He's going to be the guy that's going to be getting all of the underneath throws. If this guy starts to get more snaps, he could be a league winner. Brashad Smith is nice, and I see him as a guy that they can build with moving forward, especially with Rashee Rice coming back. So Brashad Smith, pick up Isaiah Davis. Breece Hall could be traded, and if Breece Hall is traded, Isaiah Davis becomes the RB1 for the Jets. You might say, oh, it's the Jets, but in fantasy football, it's not about where people play. It's about volume, and it's about opportunity. Look at Trey Benson. Trey Benson should be eligible to come back by week 10. So we're heading into week 8. So if you are looking for a running back and if you have an IR spot that's wide open and he's available, go ahead and pick him up. Somebody's asking, do I pick up Pacheco or Monangai? I'll pick up Monangai. Since we're on the Chiefs, it's hard to trust any Chiefs running back. Like I said, if I'm going to trust the Chiefs running back, it's going to be Brashad Smith. And that's going to be my guy moving forward. So I will go Monangai. He had a great game. And it could be a thing where they're going to start to use Monangai more. And he's going to be splitting with DeAndre Swift. It says trade Barkley for Ladd and Kyron. I would do that easily. LSU and A&M prediction. Give me LSU. I love SEC football, by the way. All right. So another running back that I'm targeting in the waiver wires is Devin Neal. Devin Neal. Why Devin Neal? Well, Kendra Miller is out for the season. Alvin Kamara, they're saying he's not going to get traded, but he very well could get traded. Either way, Devin Neal is next up. So if an injury happens to Alvin Kamara, you'll be glad that you have a Devin Neal. In redraft leagues, he should be available. You shouldn't have to put in a claim. You should let the waivers clear, and you should be able to grab him for free. Emmanuel Wilson, there was talks about Josh Jacobs missing last week, and then he was able to come in and play. Appreciate the gift. Emmanuel Wilson was able to come in, and he spelled Josh Jacobs. But if Josh Jacobs was to ever go down, Emmanuel Wilson could be a pretty good back in that system that loves to run the ball. LSU all the way, man. Absolutely. Brian Robinson is a guy that I would scoop and stash. CMC has been great all season. Knocking on wood. He has not gotten hurt, but he's a guy that if he is to get hurt within that system, I believe that Brian Robinson Jr. could be very good. So let's go ahead and get to the last part of the Waiver Wire show, and I'll be able to answer questions the rest of the show. We have the quarterbacks. If you're playing in 2 quarterback leagues, these are some of the guys that I would also suggest you guys grabbing. Joe Flacco. No need to talk about what he did last week. I've talked about it on several videos that are on my TikTok. Joe Flacco looked good. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starting quarterback for the Jets for the foreseeable future. So if you're playing in a 2 quarterback league and you just lost Fields or you have bye weeks, Tyrod Taylor is going to be a hot target in 2 quarterback leagues this week. Marcus Mariota, another guy that's going to be a hot target in 2 quarterback leagues. Yes, you're playing in Kansas City, but when you need another quarterback, he could be great for you. Michael Penix, he should be out there. He should be available. He's a guy that I would play in 1 or 2 quarterback leagues if I need him. And then, of course, Andy Dalton. With the injury to Bryce Young, Andy Dalton will be available in 2 quarterback leagues. So these are my waiver wire picks. Before the end of the show, I'll do my rundown again for those who are coming in late. But this episode is actually going to be on the Talking Sports with Manny podcast. So if you guys have Apple or if you guys have Spotify, no matter where you get your podcast from, this episode will be on that platform. Also, for those on YouTube, TikTok, follow YouTube, follow TikTok. I appreciate all the support that I'm getting from every platform. So now that I'm pretty much done with the waiver wire portion of the show, we're going to go ahead and dive into some questions. I just saw some recent questions, and I'm going to try to get to as many of these questions as I can. Hey, Lucy, appreciate you hopping on the stream and appreciate you liking as well. See you, Ms. B. It's all good. All right, it says, I got Puka, Wilson, Hall, and Dobbins. Trade Kyron and Odunze and Worthy for Genty, Junkins, and Metcalf. Absolutely. The people that you're going to be getting back are greater than the people that you're going to be losing. I still like Genty, even though he's been kind of, inconsistent this year. I do like Junkins moving forward. You guys know, for those of you guys that know me and you guys come on these streams weekly, you guys know that I'm a big Quinshon Junkins fan. I've been screaming Quinshon Junkins all season, saying that he's a virtually a guy that you can start, and he's a guy that could potentially win the Rookie of the Year. If Emeka stays healthy, obviously Emeka is the guy right now, right? But I think it's a three-headed monster race, maybe 4. Okay, here are the 4 top rookies that are playing the best football right now. You have Quinshon Junkins, you have Emeka, you have Scatterbo, and you have Dart. That Dart and Scatterbo, the Psycho brothers in New York, those 2 guys are playing unbelievable football right now. And I believe that one of these 4 guys are going to win the Rookie of the Year. You guys think I'm right, I'm wrong? Let me know what you guys think about that. Also, I just saw news that Hassan Haskins is going to miss the Thursday night football game, which means that Vidal to the moon. So if you have Vidal, you might want to start him this week if you need a running back, because I think that Vidal is going to be very nice this week, just based off of volume. I don't know about production, but Vidal should have plenty of volume this week. All right, so let's dive into the questions. Anthony is asking, would you trade Bo Nix for Swift? If I have multiple quarterbacks, I would do it, but I also feel like Bo Nix can net you a better running back than Swift, but I understand it. It says trade Saquon, Adams, Daniels for Lamar and Cook. I'm not sure about that one. That's quite a lot. But I get it. You don't know what happens with Daniel's injury, so I get it. But Lamar is coming back, so it's fair-ish. I don't know if I would do it, but it's fair-ish. It says, I don't want Brees to leave us. Yeah, sadly, Brees is gonna. The thing is, if the Jets can't get what they want for Brees, Brees is gonna stay. But I think long term, Brees is unhappy. If you look at the IG post from Brees, he's throwing a lot of subliminal messages out there about the Jets saying "free me," this and that. So he could be potentially on his way out. And it says Ant fell into the second round. If you're grabbing Ant in the second round of your NBA draft, that's ridiculous. What a find. Ant in the second round is crazy. Ant should be going in the top 7 of NBA fantasy drafts. That's just my opinion. It says, you're on point, bro. Junkins, to me, was better situation than Genty and Scatterbo. Absolutely. Like, when Junkins was drafted there, right? Nick Chubb leaving, you're thinking Nick Chubb 2.0. He's like a Nick Chubb, but faster. I don't know about stronger, but faster, and definitely a guy that can catch passes if they use him in that way. So I loved Junkins. The reason why Junkins fell in drafts was after that whole issue with the law and all of that. So people were thinking, is he going to be suspended? I kept grabbing Junkins. My only regret is not grabbing enough Junkins in my hundreds of fantasy leagues that I did this year. Let me see. All right, we got a few more questions up here. It says, my league is dumb. SGA fell to pick 5. Then I picked Jalen Brunson in the second round. That's a good start, man. To grab SGA at 5 and Brunson in the second round, that's pretty solid. So I had a draft that somebody put me in, and it was during my Commanders game. I don't draft during the football games, especially not the first 2 games. Like, if the draft is like after 5 or 6, it's understandable. So I just said, let the computer draft, and I'm going to read you my team in a minute. Computer did a pretty decent job, but at the end, there were some steals that I would have done myself. Genty or Junkins rest of the season, give me Junkins, man. It's not even close. Appreciate all the gifts, man. Appreciate all the likes. You guys feel free to share this out to your peoples. It says Drake May and Josh Allen and need a wide receiver. Who goes? Man, that's tough. I feel like Josh Allen can net you more. Drake will net you less. Drake is playing on the same level, if not better than Josh Allen right now. You can go look at the numbers. So I would trade Josh Allen and try to get multi. You might be able to get a receiver plus just because of who Josh Allen is. Josh Allen is just one of those guys that can take over the game, especially with his legs. So Devin Booker is a good second rounder. Absolutely. Absolutely. He was a guy that I've been grabbing in the second round the last 2 or 3 years. For some reason, he's not quite a first rounder, but he's a great second rounder, in my opinion. What's your favorite team in the NFL? My favorite team is the Commanders, sadly, but I've been a fan since '99, and I'm loyal to my squad. But yeah, I've been a Commanders fan for a while. Says never mind. He just got snatched. It's all good. Still plenty players. Hey, appreciate the follow. Tyrese Maxey or Spider? Give me Spider. Give me Spider for sure. Just because Spider's durable. Maxey gets hurt. The last couple seasons, Maxey's been hurt. Maxey puts up crazy numbers, but Spider, for me, is Spider. And the funny thing is, like years ago in a keepers league, I made a trade similar. I think I traded Spider and I got Maxey plus. That's when Maxey was still a second-year player in the NBA. It says, "Are you a Tennessee fan?" Yeah, I'm a UT fan. So I live in Nashville. I grew up in the DMV. I'm a Redskins fan, Commanders fan, Nationals. The teams outside of the DMV that I like are obviously UT, the Lakers, and the Yankees. So yeah, I'm a UT fan, but I'm not a diehard. I'm a die easy. I'm not gonna lie. Living in Nashville, this is possibly the only Tennessee team that I root for. There's nothing wrong with the Titans, but I'm good with just having one football team. When it comes to basketball, I can't stand the Grizzlies. Although I'm going to Memphis tomorrow, not to watch the Grizzlies, but to watch Zion. Zion doesn't stay healthy, so I want to see Zion live. I have a list of NBA players that I want to watch live this season, and I want to see how many of those players I get to see live. I've seen tons of LeBron already. I've never seen. Did I see Luka? No. Once Luka got to LA, the tickets were crazy. So I've seen LeBron plenty times. There's certain different players that I want to see play live this year. All right, Brandon writes. So I lost because of Mike Evans and Kittle. Yeah, Mike Evans and Kittle were terrible this week. If this is your first time checking me out, Brandon, be sure to drop a subscribe on the YouTube channel. But yeah, man, like Mike Evans, that I can understand. Kittle coming out there giving me 0 points, that really hurt. I'm in a league where if my team scores the most points, I win the money for that week. And because of Kittle, I didn't win the money. Go figure. It says, what should I do with Jordan Mason? Keep him. I think that Jordan Mason is going to be good. And to be honest, even though Aaron Jones is back, I don't too much trust Jordan. I don't too much trust Aaron Jones' health. And he could be a guy that gets traded at the trade deadline. We don't know. So me and my friends made such a fair trade. I got Bijan and McMillan for Gibbs and Debo. I like it. That was 2 weeks ago. I like it. Even if it's Tet, yeah, I love that trade. I think that's super, super fair. Paulo or Flag in the third round. Ooh, that's tough. Give me Paulo. I think Paulo has a chance to play like an MVP this season. People might not like that take, but I know who Paulo is, right? I still don't know who Cooper Flag is. We have not seen Cooper Flag in an NBA game. We've seen him in preseason, but Paulo is as legit as it comes. So go Paulo in the third round. That's what I would do. It says Rocky pick 6 before half. That was rough. That was rough. It says Jets fan since 2017, Yankees fan since 2016, Knicks fan since 2018, and people still call me not loyal. It's all good, man. Look, you can be whatever fan you want to be. And the thing is, like, people try to get on me because of my DMV ties and then being a Lakers fan. But I've been a Lakers fan since Kobe, and I've stayed a Lakers fan, right? Or people will say, so the Wizards are a team that I used to support. I don't support right now. After the whole Bradley Beal trade and John Wall situation, they still in my heart. But in terms of buying jerseys and going to the games like I used to, I'm not wasting my money or my resources right now. So, moving on along, rather have A.J. Brown or Derrick Henry rest of the season. Give me A.J. Brown. But Lamar is coming back. With Lamar, Derrick Henry should look better, but he hasn't looked good all season. So give me A.J. Brown. So I accept this trade. I get Gibbs and Garrett Wilson, and I give up Saquon and Drake. Yeah, anything with Gibbs, sign me up. Anything with Gibbs, sign me up. All right, Brandon writes, so was this just a one-time thing where the Eagles passed the ball, or should I expect more passing from now on and I can start Devonta Smith? The thing with the Eagles is that they're like a box of chocolates. The Eagles are like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes you're going to get defensive games where they win defensively. Sometimes you're going to get games where they pass the ball. Sometimes you're going to get games where they try to run the ball. Like, one thing that we can say is that Saquon has not looked good all season. Saquon has not scored all season, right? So I would bet my money on the receivers and the passing game. Jalen Hurts has to pass. Literally, they have to pass in order to score 28, 30 points. So some weeks they're going to have to pass. But I would, if I had to choose, what do I trust more? The Eagles passing game or the Eagles running game? Give me the Eagles passing game. All right, Curry needs a double-double, and I'll be happy for my parlay. I hope, for your sake, Curry gets a double-double versus my Lakers, but hopefully my Lakers get the win tonight. That's just how I see it. Anybody who wants to become a super fan, feel free. All right, Let me see. Should I accept this trade? I get Gibbs and Garrett Wilson and give up Saquon and Drake. Absolutely. Barnes or Flag? Flag fell to the 4th. That's when you grab Flag. You grab Flag in the 4th. For sure. It says Dallas Goedert or Gatson. Man, I'll probably go Gatson one more week. One more week for sure. Let me see. Appreciate the follow, guys. Appreciate the likes. It says trading Kamara, DK, and Laporta for Josh Jacobs and Michael Pittman. Win or loss? Trading Kamara, DK, and Laporta for Josh Jacobs and Michael Pittman. That's one of those trades. It's it's all right. It's all right. I do like the side that you're getting. I do like Josh Jacobs and Pittman, but it's all right. I mean, I think it's fair value. I mean, you have multiple tight ends, and if you have multiple tight ends, you should trade one, especially if it's not tight end premium. Most people don't start 2 tight ends, so I like that trade for you. Dallas Goedert or Gatson? I would go Gatson. Man, appreciate the gift, man. Appreciate the love, my guy. Appreciate the love. All right. Let's see. Try not to miss any questions, but if I miss it, you guys can always re-ask. Dowdle and Ertz for Pittman. And for those of you guys that have access to my DM, if I don't get to a question, you can always DM me. I will always get to it. Dowdle and Ertz for Pittman. That's fair. That's fair. The Dowdle train has kind of cooled off. I was in on that Dowdle train. I still am. But I think that's a fair trade. But I still do like Dowdle. All right. Brandon writes, I didn't know NBA, but I'm a Kings fan, and there's anything to look forward to this season, or are we like the Jets? Look, the Kings are just in a cycle of misery, man. You guys have a lot of aging stars like Zach LaVine and what's his name, DeRozan. You guys just signed Russell Westbrook. You guys have Malik Monk and Dennis Schroeder. I don't see any improvements. I think that the Kings are going to be a bottom 4 or 5 team this year. I don't see any improvements unless they make a trade. You traded away De'Aaron Fox. You didn't gain anything back in trading him away. So I don't know what their direction is. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, the Kings are not going to be good this season. That's just my opinion. Brandon also writes, should I pick up the Chargers tight end? I forgot his name. Yes, Gaston. I talked about him on my Waiver Wire show. You can go back and rewind this episode on YouTube later. I did mention him as a #1 Waiver Wire target this week. Definitely grab him. And let's see if he's going to continue that kind of production. All right. Let's go back to TikTok. Zine says, I need a PG. Do I get Garland or Rivers? Or Reeves? I guess you meant Reeves. I would go Reeves over Garland. That's just me. Trade Ferg for Garrett Wilson. That's fair. Only if you have extra tight ends. Genty and Waddle for Tez and Scatterbo. I'm not mad at it. Right now, it's definitely Scatterbo over Genty. Tez is going to be a guy that we don't know if he can be consistent. Waddle could get traded and have more value. So I would possibly hold on to that Waddle. Addison, Stevenson, or Wandale in a flex. Give me Addison. Addison has been consistent, man. The guy's been scoring at least 14 points a game in every single game. It says Swift start against Baltimore. I like Swift moving forward. I think that's a good start. Baltimore struggles defensively. So that could be a very interesting game. It says Garland and MPJ or Denny and Nemhard. Give me Denny and Nemhard. I think that Denny is going to take a step to what he did last year, and Nemhard should go bananas. Nemhard was a pick of mine in the second round of my 6 keeper league. So I love Nemhard a lot this year in the NBA. I think he's going to ball out. Hey, Brandon, you're welcome, man. Anytime. If you guys want to donate to the channel, my Venmo is right there on YouTube. If you guys, hopefully I get monetized again on YouTube to where folks can drop super chats if they like. All right. Let's see what TikTok is talking about. It says, should I start T over Johnson this week? I would. Hey, Baker, appreciate the love, man. Baker showing major love on TikTok, man. Appreciate the love. Says Giants hurt me sometimes. But look, being a Giants fan right now, this is the best time to be a Giants fan. The Giants finally got their franchise quarterback. Check out the NFC East. The Commanders got their franchise quarterback last year, right? He won Rookie of the Year. The Giants get their franchise quarterback this year, and he possibly wins Rookie of the Year. Rob Dillingham, a good 7th-round pick. I don't know. Is Rob Dillingham starting this year? I think that Rob is a guy that you can get much later. There should be other players that you can grab in the 7th round. But yeah. So Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott are two guys that are playing MVP caliber football right now. And then, so the NFC East is just filled with good quarterback play as of now, assuming that Jalen stays healthy. Vidal or Stevenson, with Haskins being out, I will still go Stevenson. This is why. Stevenson has been consistent, and and Vidal is playing Thursday night. It's something about playing guys Thursday night. I don't know about that. All right, Brandon writes, I have Kyron JCM. I didn't get that many points. Should I pick up a RB on waivers? If so, who do I pick? These two guys are solid guys. JCM has been annoying. But if Vidal is out there, that's a guy that I would pick up. I don't know what's available in your league, but some of the guys that I listed earlier are guys like Isaiah Davis, Trey Benson, Devin Neal, Emmanuel Wilson, Brian Robinson Jr., Brashad Smith. So there's not really much on waivers, but if you see a better running back on your waiver wire, I wouldn't say don't drop Kyron or JCM. You can bench one, but then you can pick up somebody off of waivers, like a Vidal. Vidal should be able to get tons of volume this week. Like this week, I'm starting Vidal over JCM. And it's sad because I've been on that JCM train all year until now. It's starting to be disappointing. It's like, is it a Cliff Kingsbury thing or is it a Bill thing? I don't know. Falcons defense versus the Dolphins is a lock this week. Absolutely. Every time I see the Dolphins on the schedule or I see the Titans, I am grabbing that DST and I'm starting them with full confidence. Look what Cleveland did to Miami. Obviously, everybody isn't Cleveland, but that just shows you how bad the Dolphins are. And the Dolphins have to make a decision soon. I think we're going to see a scenario where Tua Tagovailoa gets benched this season, and once that happens, he can never come back to the Dolphins. Like when you pay a guy that kind of money, you can't bench them just yet. So, but once you bench that player, the value for that player forever diminishes forever. It says, any word on Daniels playing this week? So the Commanders have kept it a hush-hush. And so today is Tuesday, right? We are expecting news on Jaden Daniels potentially Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday is when the Commanders practice again, which they should be practicing every day because this team is just trash. But by Thursday, we should be hearing news. But definitely by Friday, if you hear nothing, that means he's not playing. But in the meantime, if you need a Marcus Mariota, you go ahead and pick him up in 2 quarterback leagues if you need that extra quarterback. Yep. But yeah, man, I am excited for the NBA game tonight. You have the Houston Rockets, right, versus the OKC Thunder. But the most intriguing thing about the Houston Rockets lineup is that you have 4 guys that are 6'11" or taller. Then you have one guy that's 6'7". So they're going to play Amen Thompson at the point guard, and he's 6'7". You're going to play Kevin Durant at the 2, he's 6'11". Jabari Smith at the 3, he's 6'11". Şengün at the 4, he's 6'11", and then Steven Adams at the 5, he's 6'11". So that's going to be interesting. Do the Rockets keep this lineup all season, or is this just something that's cool, something they want to try against a big OKC team, a big OKC front line? So that's definitely going to be interesting. Manuel is asking update on Nico Collins. No update yet. The last that I've seen on Nico Collins is that Nico Collins has a concussion. He has not been ruled out yet. Obviously, he has to pass the concussion protocol through the week. If he does that, then he'll be eligible to play. So he has to have, like, what is it? Like, the rule is what, 2 days of consecutive, like, no concussion symptoms, then he's cleared. So if he's not cleared, he's not going to play. But we won't know anything for sure until Friday. Friday is the day that we find out who's playing on Sunday. If a team is playing on Monday, then Saturday is the day that we know. So Jaden Daniels could also linger into Saturday, knowing if he's going to play or not. But Nico Collins, we should find out final news on whether he's playing or not on Friday. It says, I think A-Man plays PG well. Freddie V will be the sixth man. Well, Freddie V is hurt right now. Freddie V's hurt, but when he comes back, definitely. A-Man Thompson playing the point guard, I want to see that. I haven't seen it. I want to see what he looks like creating plays, because not only is he going to be creating plays, he slashes to the basket, but then he's also defending the best wing defender every single night. So it's going to be interesting to see if he figures out this point guard position. Man, it could be crazy. Manuel, anytime. It could be crazy. Brandon writes, is there NBA fantasy? Who would you pick first? Would it be like Wemby or something? Yes, there's an NBA fantasy. I do play NBA fantasy, but I am cutting back. I'm in 3 or 4 leagues this year. Next year, I'm going to cut it down to 1 or 2. I love playing NBA on Sleeper. Maybe next year I'll do one for my people that follow me on YouTube and to my people that follow me on TikTok, as well as X and all the other platforms. I'll do one just for the Talking Sports with Manny crew. The first pick for me is Joker. Wemby is nice, especially in a points league. I prefer Joker. In a category league, I would go Wemby just because you'll have the blocks on lock. But yeah, my first pick overall is Joker. But everybody's different. I'm seeing Wemby trend, since I took Wemby 1 of 1. I'm not mad at it. But I also feel like if it's a points league, I don't see Wemby outscoring Joker. That's not happening. Joker just does too much. 20-something points. Like, he's averaging a triple-double and getting you assists. Joker is a center, a power forward, and a point guard all together. Shoots the free throw well and does several different things well. All right, Baker has reached level 2 of the fan club. Shout out to Baker. Congrats to Baker, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the love. Since Wemby was training with the Avengers this offseason, hey, we'll see, man. Like, I got to see it. Oh, Wemby is also on my list of players to go and watch live. So I am excited to go see Wemby this year. I don't know if I'm going to go to a Memphis Grizzlies game, being the closest spot to me. Memphis or ATL are the closest from Nashville. But ATL tickets are always more expensive. So I have to see when Wemby's coming. If my schedule allows, that's definitely a trip that I want to make. Go see Wemby play. Zion, Wemby, Giannis. I've seen Giannis play his rookie season in a summer league game. He was a sophomore, and then Julius Randle and some of those other guys. Jabari Parker for the I forgot what team it was for the Bucks. He was a rookie. Yeah, so that year, whatever year that was, I think it was like Giannis was a sophomore. I saw him play in summer league in Vegas, which is exciting. I live in Cleveland. Should I go to the Lakers throwback night? Absolutely. If you're going to see the Lakers, you're going to see LeBron. You're going to see Luka. Like, that's star power. That's star power. Luka's still on my list. But just know that those Laker games, no matter where they go, are expensive. But, yeah, definitely go check them out. It says, with a small bench, should I drop Goddard for Gasson this week? I think those guys are about the same. Goddard is at least consistent. We know who Goddard is, but if you want to chase that upside, then I would definitely make that drop and pick up Gasson just to see if Gasson is something. If he is, then hey, guess what? You won. If he's not, then hey, you'll be dropping him like the next week. It says, worth dropping Jacoby Myers for Tez Johnson. Absolutely. Jacoby Myers has given us nothing this season. It says, Do you know a good site to get tickets cheap, or are they all the same? So the site that I go to is Game Time app. Hopefully one day when my sports stuff grows on all social media platforms, I could get to partner with some of these people and give out my code to go ahead and download apps and do all these different things. But I use I use Game Time. It's not NBA, but it's called Game Time app. Game Time app, I saw tickets, great tickets for $69 for the Grizzlies game for two people. I mean, 69 each. But then I'm sitting closer to the bottom of that arena, and I'm paying $127. That's the cheapest that I've played to sit that close. So NBA Game Time is great, and you can even buy last-minute tickets. So sometimes I'll get down to the area and then purchase my tickets the day of or the day before. So you're going to be finding tickets because tickets drop as it gets closer to a game time. So that's where I go. This is I traded Nico, and JMO for Smitty and Henry. That's even. Hey, appreciate the follow, Whiskey. Says trade Odunze for Cook. I would if I need a running back, honestly. Odunze has cooled off. Trade Genty and Waddle for Tez and Scatterbo. I like the Waddle side. I would keep Waddle and Genty. As much as I like Scatterbo, I don't know if Tez can be consistent. Trade Worthy and Kittle. I have trade Worthy for Kittle. I would, but also you can find other tight ends on the waiver wire that could be as productive, if not more productive than Kittle. Kittle coming out from his first game and he's blocking. Is that the Kittle that we're going to see? Brandon writes, who's better, John Moran or Brunson? Give me Brunson. Brunson's tough. John Moran is still good, but John Moran stays hurt. So your best ability is availability. So give me a Brunson. Brunson, yes, he's gotten hurt towards the end of the season a couple years ago, but I'd rather have Brunson. Brunson is one of those guys. Like, he's just tough. He's a bulldog. He's clutch. He's available. So, yeah, give me Brunson. Says, would you trade Javonte for Henry? No. Give me Javonte. Would you trade I have Worthy, Smith, McLaurin, Pearsall, and BTJ. Okay. I hear you. Yeah. I don't know, man. Hey, School, appreciate the gift, man. Appreciate the gift. Means a lot. Says, thinking of dropping Vidal and JCM for Monangai and Rashad Smith. I wouldn't do it. Vidal is going to be getting all the carries this week. Hassan Haskins has been ruled out. He's not playing tomorrow. So I'm keeping Vidal. I know that JCM has been uninspiring. I'm going to give JCM a few more weeks before dropping. Rashad Smith, yes, I did say pick him up. I did say that he's going to be one of the hottest pickups this week. But yeah. So I would say stick with the guys that you have right now. Monangai, we don't know if that's going to be a continuous thing either. So it's kind of monitor it, but always go with your gut. In my opinion, Jordan Love is a top 8 quarterback in the league right now. Are we talking fantasy or are we talking real life? If you're saying real life, I would say yes. If you're saying fantasy, I would say no. I think that Jordan Love does so much more than just stats. He's smart. He makes great plays. Jordan Love is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I'm a big fan. He spreads the ball. He doesn't lock in on one guy. Says drop Vidal and pick up a Chargers tight end that went off this week. If you don't need running back, then you drop Vidal. Vidal is getting all of the work this week because Haskins is out. But definitely at the same time, the Titans, the Chargers tight end, Oronde Gaston, is the number 1 waiver wire pick. So if you had no choice, then definitely make that drop and then get that tight end. It says, I'm getting offered Marvin Harrison and Mason Taylor for Devonta Smith. Should I do it? Marvin Harrison and Mason Taylor for Devonta Smith. I would do it. I still think that Marvin Harrison has upside, and Mason Taylor with the new quarterback change should be good the rest of the season moving forward. Junkins, Mason, and Bourne for JJ. I would do it. Really, it's just Junkins for JJ. Give me JJ. Mason and Bourne are like whatever. Says, I wanted to keep Vidal for flex, but he let me down this weekend. So hold him still. Let's give Vidal one more chance. Let's see what Vidal looks like this week. Now, you can't be mad at Vidal. Although he played bad, they were down a lot. And they had to pass the ball. So I get it. I get it. But if you have to drop Vidal, then you drop him. But I'm giving Vidal one more chance. Last week, I almost dropped Bo Nix because of what he did the previous week. He pissed me off. And I said, you know what? He's playing the Giants. Let me just hold on. I held on to Bo Nix, and Bo Nix put up one of the best numbers for quarterbacks, if not the best, this past week. And the lesson is that I just didn't keep him for that game. I kept him because he's playing the Cowboys this week. So sometimes when you keep these players, man, it's hard to get consistent play, consistent love from your players moving forward. So it's tough. It's tough. Nobody's consistent, and the real consistent players are guys that we know like Bijan and Gibbs and Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like the superstars are for the most part are consistent. But when it comes to these role players or these different guys, those are the ones that like you just kind of guess. I appreciate the likes, y'all. Appreciate the follows. I have a goal of reaching 500 follows by the end of this week. That means 199 more. I don't know how many times I'm going to stream this week, but I like to have lofty goals because every time I get on and I talk fantasy football, that's when I get the majority of people specifically coming from TikTok and asking questions and interacting and like we're doing our thing. He says, I was offered Tony Dorsett for Franco Harris. Do it? Absolutely, man. That's a smash accept. What should I do with JCM? JCM, I would give JCM 2 more weeks, especially in redraft leagues, and just kind of see what happens. Brandon is asking, how long do you think Jaden Daniels will be out for? So until I see the report, they said it was a hamstring injury. Then I hear reports that Jaden Daniels could have come back in the game. But, you never know what's the truth out there. You hear a lot of different things. I don't know if he was healthy enough to come back in the game. But what I do know is that let's say Jaden doesn't come back this week, right? They have 3 straight crazy games. If Jaden is out, he's going to be out at least 2 or 3 weeks. But knowing Jaden, he always wants to play. So he's a guy that wants to come back as soon as possible. So that always bodes well for him. He knows that the Commander season is over without him, right? Terry should be coming back soon. Debo should be coming back. Terry and Debo are practicing this week. So I don't know. I don't think that Jaden Daniels plays this week, and the Commanders are going to take caution with him. You don't want to see another RG3 type of miss player management, bringing a guy back too early. All right. Let's get some of these questions on TikTok. All right. Bet. I got Mark Andrews for my tight end, but he hasn't done much. Another tough one. Absolutely, man. Mark Andrews has done nothing. Lamar's coming back. Lamar did start to target Mark Andrews before the injury happened, but with that offense, man, you don't know if it's going to be a running day, a passing day. They love to use their receivers, so yeah, that's just tough. I'm hoping that Mark Andrews gets traded to a team that's actually going to love and value him. Do I drop 2 bands to watch the Cavs versus T-Wolves floor seats? Woo-wee! I'm not going to lie. That's like a bucket list type of thing. Man, but 2 bands is 2 bands, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. But that's also a great price because floor seats are usually more than 2 bands. Hey, if you got it, I always say this. Life is short, man. And we work hard to, save our monies to have memories. I'm a memory guy. So I've been on like 10 vacations already this year. So I'm not mad at you. I went to the All-Star weekend and I spent about 2 bands for 3 events. So, and I was like sitting up there. But yeah, man, if you got it and you want to spend it and you want to have memories that will last a lifetime, then definitely. Let me see. Yo, bro, can you answer my question? What's your question? Tons of questions coming in. Parting with BTJ is hard for me. Hey, it's hard to say goodbye. You got to do what you got to do, man. You got to think about it. Look, we're all here to win, right? And if you're playing in money leagues, you're trying to win money. So sometimes you got to let go of good players in order to kind of reach that goal. It says, if you ran the Dolphins franchise, would you fire McDaniels by now? Yes. McDaniels should be gone. Or would you let him work it out? There's no more working it out. McDaniels is gone either in season or after the season. It says, MB thought I sent the question. Okay. Once you send it, I'll try to catch it. Yeah, but McDaniels is gone. So McDaniels is a career OC. Absolutely. And similar to Cliff Kingsbury. Kingsbury might get a coaching job. He's not a head coach. They're just players that are not, coaches that are not head coaches. There are coaches that are coordinators for life, whether it's defensive coordinators, special teams, whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's that. So if you answer your question, I can get to your question. I'm possibly streaming for about another 17 minutes, and I gotta go. I gotta head home and catch this game. But I'm stopping at my homie's house. I ordered $100 worth of steaks, so I'm gonna be grilling up some steaks. Possibly grill one up tonight. If it's not frozen, I'm gonna grill up one tonight. If it's frozen, then I'm gonna wait till this weekend. Make some steaks and potatoes for the games and the sports and all that stuff. So let me see. All right. I think I've gotten to all the questions so far. Yeah, appreciate all the likes and the follows, y'all. It says, would you trade Luka for Maxey and Sengun in NBA Fantasy League, Points League? Yes. I would make this trade. Give me a second. I would make this trade if you feel that Maxey is going to be healthy. If you feel like Maxey is not going to be healthy, then you don't make the trade. I feel like a lot of times we want to hold on to like the best players, but when you're getting 2-for-1s, I'm a 2-for-1 guy moving forward. So yeah, I will definitely make the trade Luka for Maxey and Sengun if you feel Maxey can be healthy this season. Collins for Scat or Scat. Give me Scat. It says trade Scat for Collins. Oh no, I'm keeping Scat. That's just me. I feel like they're tanking. Yeah, they're definitely tanking. We're talking about Miami, right? Yeah, if you're Miami and if you're tanking, then you definitely leave McDaniels there. You let McDaniels coach that team. You play all your young guys and just tank. And then at the end of the year, you tell them goodbye. They're most likely going to be drafting another quarterback or figuring out their quarterback situation. I don't think that Tua Tagovailoa is the quarterback for that franchise. I would say this. If you flip, I've said this before in previous shows, if you flip Kyler Murray, send Kyler Murray to Miami, and then you send Tua to Arizona, it's going to work out for both teams. Look at the personnel. You have these bigger receivers that Tua can hit, right? Then you have this kind of spread offense with Tyreek Hill, and then, you have Waddle. That Tyreek Hill, that Murray to Tyreek Hill would go crazy. It would feed families, but that's just me thinking outside of the box. It says, would you pick up Monangai or Pacheco? Give me Monangai. Pacheco could be decent too with Kareem Hunt going down, but I don't know. It says, would you drop Waller or Njoku for Theo? Yes, I think Waller's injury, man, that's the thing. Waller played so well that he got hurt. So I'm dropping Waller. Like, give me Theo Johnson. Gasson, Pitts Sr., or Pat Freiermuth from the Steelers. Give me Gatson this week. He played so well. So give me Gatson, Pat Freiermuth, then Pitts. That's how I would rank those three guys. Bijan, Achane, and Tet for Josh Jacobs, Genty, Jefferson, and McLaurin. Yes, give me the Josh Jacobs, Genty, Justin Jefferson, and McLaurin. Justin Jefferson is possibly the best talent here, but Bijan is like right there with him too. And I get that Achane is, very, very good, very solid, but he's smallish, and he's not injury prone, but he could be. And if Terry comes back, man, you super won that deal. Let's see. Okay, no questions on YouTube yet. For those that are watching the YouTube channel, if this is your first time hearing me, feel free to follow if you enjoy the content that I put out. The time is 5:47 Nashville time, so I'm streaming for about another 13 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, both the folks that are watching on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook and TikTok, if you guys have questions, ask your questions, get your questions answered, because I'm only on for another 13 minutes. And I'm not sure if I'll be coming back on tonight. But I do know I'm going live either today or Thursday to talk Lakers. So I'm excited about that. It'll be my first time talking Lakers in a while. I used to have a Lakers podcast, but I just kind of funnel everything really through my YouTube channel, and I'm glad that I found a way to do this on TikTok now. Zine is asking, LaMelo could be LaMelo could be top 10 if he stays healthy. Absolutely. So I have a keeper league, right? And I keep 6 guys, right? Let me read this team off to you. This team, I call them unhealthy towers. No, unhealthy twin towers. And you're going to realize and figure out why I call them the unhealthy twin towers. So it's a unique league where you have to keep 1 point guard, keep 1 shooting guard, 1 small forward, 1 power forward, 1 center, and then 1 of anything, right? So on this particular team, I kept LaMelo Ball. He's never healthy. I kept Trey Murphy, who I found later on in the season. I kept Trey Murphy over Mikal Bridges. I have Rui Hachimura on this team. I kept Anthony Davis. I kept Joel Embiid. So Embiid and AD are why the name of my team is called the Unhealthy Twin Towers. I drafted Nembhard this year, added Kawhi to my injury bunch. He was available in the first round of a 6-keeper league. Cam Thomas, I kept him, another injury guy. Kept Laurie Markkinen, and that wraps up my 6 keepers. I drafted Emmanuel Quickley, Kyle Ware, Dennis Schroeder late, Donovan Clingan, Quentin Grimes, Bryce Sensabaugh, and then I picked up Vaz Messi from the waiver wire. All right. Richie's asking, thinking Lamar will ball this weekend? Yes. If Lamar plays, Lamar balls. Like we all know that, right? Lamar balls when he plays. Dylan writes, traded Knicks, Henry, and Emeka, and I got JT and Sutton. I have Jacobs, Daniel Jones, and Lamb, London, 12-man. Great trade. Typically, I'm not for trading Emeka, but when you're getting JT and Sutton, that's a great trade. And then it being 1 quarterback, quarterbacks are expendable when you have like Knicks and Daniel Jones. So I get it. So it's really, you traded Henry and Emeka for JT and Sutton. That's a solid trade. I love that trade for you. It says your team is going to go crazy on the IR. Man, look, I'm about to change my team name to IR Crazy. But the thing is, like in this league, right, it's like a lot of these, because this might be my last season in this league. And if it is, I'm trading Embiid, I'm trading Anthony Davis, I'm trading LaMelo. I get rid of these injury guys, and each of these 3 guys can get me 2 players each. Kawhi, I chose Kawhi over the young guy from the Spurs. I can't think of his name. What's his name? His daddy played for the Bulls. Ron Harper. So I took, because even though it's a keeper league, I'm not expecting to keep Ron Harper. Okay. Kawhi, when healthy, is going to put up 50, 60 points in this format. So yeah, I have a all injury team, but I also feel like I have the depth with guys like Emmanuel Quickley and Markkinen and some of these other pieces, Nembhard, to, so like to just solidify this team. But when they're healthy, they're going to put up some crazy numbers. CR7 writes, CD and Bo Nix for Lamar and AJ Brown. I rather keep CD and Bo Nix, if we're being honest. But the trade is fair, though. The trade is fair. I'm not going to say that it's not. Let me see. Appreciate the hearts, man. Appreciate the hearts. It says, LaMelo is my favorite player right now. Absolutely. Oh, another fun fact. LaMelo's teammate, Brandon, what's his name? Oh, man, Brandon Miller. I'm sorry. I just got a lot of stuff in my mind. Brandon Miller is from my hometown and played basketball at Cane Ridge High School, which is not far from where I live in Antioch. So, yeah, Brandon Miller, man. I remember when he had his games at Cane Ridge, ESPN is there and it's standing room only. He really like showed out in Nashville, and then it's kind of cool to see him playing ball and living out his dreams. I didn't know him personally, but I'm always happy for guys coming out of Nashville and playing ball. Is it too early to call Ohtani the GOAT? Slightly too early, but the guy is special, man. He's special. So if Mookie Betts wins another championship this year, is that what, 3 or 4 rings now for Mookie Betts? And you guys already heard of my Mookie Betts story, right? Mookie Betts championships. Look this up. See how many championship rings Mookie Betts has. He's won 3 World Series championships. That is dope, man. That is dope. That is like it's really cool to see him succeed. And like Mookie, I actually know. I know Mookie personally, but it's actually great to see this kid that grew up in the neighborhood have this kind of success. 3 championships. He's won MVP. And if he wins again, obviously I'm going for them because the Blue Jays beat the Yankees. So I got to go with the Dodgers. And, yeah, man, like that Dodgers team is beautifully built. They're trying to destroy baseball. Like the coach said, he said that folks are saying that the Dodgers are ruining baseball. He says, well, I want to wreck it. So, yeah. White and DeMont. For Junkins, I get Junkins. Absolutely. Give me Junkins all day long. Big fan. All right. We are at the 6-minute mark. Rapid fire. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Get your questions asked. It says baseball needs a hard cap. They really do. They really do, man. Baseball is just one of them sports that you can just stack. And it's like usually the same teams, it's always the same teams. That's why people start to, root for these teams like the Blue Jays and all these different teams because, teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers and some of these other bigger markets, they go up and gobble up all the players. And it's not fair. It's not fair. Got offered Dowdle and Chuba for Henry. Give me Dowdle and Chuba. I know it sounds crazy. Give me Dowdle and Chuba. Because if one of those guys end up getting traded, or let's say, I don't know, I just like that combo of Dowdle and Chuba. They've produced way more than Henry this season. Braun wins back-to-back, but Luka gets Finals MVP. That ends the GOAT argument. Absolutely. Like, it's not even close. Like, it's like, even if LeBron wins one more, you got to put him in that GOAT category. This guy is going into his 23rd season. I get it. I know what Michael Jordan did, and people call LeBron the GOAT of longevity. Before that, it was Kobe being the GOAT of longevity. You have guys that love the game. You have guys that train different. Yes, the league is different from what it was back in the day. But if you're looking at the league today, what LeBron is doing, I'm not a LeBron fan, honestly, but I'm a Lakers fan. And I respect the game. What LeBron is doing and what he has been doing has been phenomenal. What guys do you know that has produced at the level that LeBron has produced at this age? Let's see what Curry looks like at that age. Let's see what KD looks like at that age. Will they still play into their year 20, 21, 22? LeBron, one more ring, you have to have him in that GOAT conversation. That's all I got to say about that. We got 4 more minutes. Zine, appreciate you, man. Appreciate all the commentary today. You've made the show fun. Made the show fun, man, for real. So it's almost about that time. Almost about to be out. Let's see if I can get 2 more rows before I leave. It says SGA benefits the most from a ring this season. I would say so. I don't know if he benefits the most. One thing I will say about SGA is that he's a phenomenal player. Like, SGA has nothing else to prove. In today's NBA, winning 1 ring is enough. Like, SGA has cemented himself as one of the better, whatever you want to classify him. If you want to classify him as a point guard, a shooting guard, SGA, what that Thunder team did was special. Now, granted, I was going for the Pacers. I wanted to see something different. I wanted to see something new. That Pacers team was special. That Pacers team was unexpected. They had a magical run. They had Tyrese Halliburton out here, making clutch plays, dropping buckets left and right. I mean, it was clutch after clutch after clutch after clutch, comeback after comeback. That Halliburton-led Pacers team was magical. It made watching the NBA again fun. It made watching the NBA again interesting. So those are some of my greatest moments was cheering for those Pacers teams in the playoffs. It was great. I don't think SGA has anything else to prove, man. He's done what he's supposed to do. Says thoughts on Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings, man, honestly, I don't know. I don't think that there's any upside for Juwan Jennings moving forward. The only way that he gets some love this year is if he gets traded. And he's definitely could be a trade target for the 49ers. They have enough receivers. They have Kendrick Bourne outplaying Jennings. And then you have Brock Purdy coming back. So Purdy's more of a Jennings guy. And then Mac Jones is more of a Kendrick Bourne guy. So we want to see what these target share looks like moving forward. But as far as Juwan Jennings, I'm not in. I'm not sold. I'm not interested. I don't need him on my roster. Do I send Bucky for Junkins? Yes. Give me Junkins over Bucky. But in one of my leagues, I have both. So I don't have that. I don't have that issue, that problem. We got 2 more minutes. Get your questions asked. For those of you guys that have been rocking with me on YouTube, appreciate you guys. Appreciate the subscriptions. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the hearts. Appreciate the gifts. TikTok, y'all were in love today. It was like at least 300, 400 or 500 of y'all who came in and out today. Appreciate all the hearts. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the gifts. Appreciate all the follows. Trade Kyron and Smith for a chain. I would. A chain is special. It says traded Chuba for Rashi last week. Let's go. Oh, you won. You stole. You are a criminal. You deserve to be in prison right now for that for that robbery. But yeah, I love it. Let's see. What's okay? It says I'm gonna go get my pizza for the games tonight. Appreciate the help for my fantasy. Absolutely. I'm about to go grab my steaks. After I grab my steaks, like I say, if it's not frozen, I'm gonna grill one up. But I'm also headed out to a sports bar tonight for that Lakers game. Last question I'm gonna answer. Then I'm gonna get yours, Brandon. Give me 1 second. So last one on TikTok, Kelsey or Kate Otten. Give me Kate Otten this week. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all, TikTok. All right, back to YouTube. All right, so I'm gonna answer this last question. Since I traded Waddle for Rice, did I win? You won, and you won in a big way. Says, do I keep holding on to Pearsall? It's almost that time to let him go in redraft leagues, but if you have space on your IR, you keep him there. Brandon, appreciate all the commentary, appreciate all the love that I received from you today on the YouTube side. For everybody who tuned in, for those that are going to be watching the replay, if you guys love what you guys are hearing, please subscribe, please share. I'm going to catch you guys on the next episode. Appreciate y'all, and y'all have a great day. I'm out. Peace.